All right, so picture this. You're cruising at 30,000 feet, maybe sipping a drink and everything's calm. But have you ever stopped to wonder what's actually flying the airplane? I mean, we all just say the autopilot, right? But the reality, well, it's so much more fascinating than that. So let's dive in and uncover the truth about how a modern airliner really truly navigates the skies. So, who is really in control up there? I mean, is it the pilots? Is it just some single button labeled autopilot? Or is it something else entirely? The answer? It's probably going to surprise you. Because that term autopilot, it barely even scratches the surface of the incredible tech that's actually at work. Okay, the real term we need to get familiar with is the auto flight system, or AFS for short. Now, don't think of this like a simple on-off switch. That's not it at all. It's more like the central nervous system of the entire aircraft. It's this whole network of computers and sensors that are constantly working together to manage the flight, guide it, and, this is the big one, keep it incredibly safe. This diagram, this is the perfect big picture view. So over on the left, you've got all these sensors gathering data, right? Then in the middle, you see the AFS. That's the brain, processing everything and comparing it to the flight plan. And then, boom, on the right, it's sending out commands to the flight controls and the engines. Just think of this as our roadmap for the next few minutes. It's how all the pieces fit together. So, if the AFS is the nervous system, what about the brains of the operation? Well, here's the thing. There isn't just one brain. Nope. The work is actually split between two incredibly smart and redundant, which is super important, computer systems. Let's meet them. And here they are. You've got the Flight Management and Guidance Computer, we'll just call it the FMGC, and the Flight Augmentation Computer, the FAC. Now, they each have their own very distinct jobs, but they work together. And what's really important is that there are actually two of each for redundancy. You can't have a single point of failure on a plane. It's kind of like having two co-pilots in the system, each with a very different specialization. This breaks it down perfectly. Let's think of the FMGC as the navigator. Its first job, flight management, is the big picture stuff, planning the entire route from point A to point B. Then its second job, flight guidance, is all about executing that plan, actually flying the plane moment by moment. The other computer, the FAC, is more like the guardian. It's always working in the background, making the flight smoother and, crucially, providing a safety net to prevent any dangerous moves. Navigator and guardian. Simple, right? So, how does all this get started? I mean, how does a flight actually begin? Well, it all starts way before the plane even leaves the gate. It's on the ground, with the pilots programming the entire journey and basically giving the AFS its mission for the day. And this is how they do it. This device right here is the MCDU, which stands for Multipurpose Control and Display Unit. It's basically the keyboard and screen they use to talk to the navigator computer, the FMGC. They use this to punch in the entire flight plan. We're talking departure, all the waypoints, altitudes, the arrival, everything. This is the long-term strategic plan for the whole trip. Okay, so the plan is loaded. The plane takes off. Now we're in the air. Once you're climbing and cruising, that's when the tactical, moment-to-moment flying really kicks in. And this is where the part of the system that most people think of as just the autopilot really gets to shine. So, if the MCDU was for the long-term plan, this panel is for the short-term action. It's called the Flight Control Unit, or FCU. Just think of it as the dashboard. From here, the pilots can engage all the different auto flight functions and make immediate adjustments, to speed, heading, altitude, stuff like that. It's perfect for when air traffic control comes on and says, hey, change your heading or climb to a new altitude. And that action is carried out by three key players working together. First, you've got the autopilot itself, the AP. This is what actually gives the orders to the flaps and rudder to steer the plane. Second, there's the flight director, or FD. This puts little crosshairs on the pilot's screens showing them exactly where the autopilot intends to fly. It's a way for them to monitor it. And third, you have auto thrust, the A/THR. This system automatically controls the engine power to keep the plane at exactly the right speed. All three of them just working together in perfect sync. But while all of that is happening, the active flying of the plane, our guardian computer is working silently in the background. Its job is to make sure everything stays safe, smooth, and comfortable. And honestly, this is the part of the system that most people have never, ever heard about. Yep, we're back to the Flight Augmentation Computer, the FAC. And here's what is so critical about it. Even when the pilots are flying the plane by hand, with the autopilot off, the FAC is always active. Always. It's like a guardian angel that's constantly monitoring the aircraft, making these tiny, invisible adjustments to improve the flight and protecting the plane from ever getting into a dangerous situation. So what's on this guardian angel's checklist? Well, for starters, it controls the yaw damper. That's what stops that uncomfortable side-to-side tail wagging you can sometimes feel. It's also constantly calculating critical safety speeds for every single phase of the flight. It can detect dangerous wind shear, and it'll shout a warning if the plane is getting too slow. But the biggest job of all is what we call flight envelope protection. Basically, it wraps the entire flight in this protective digital bubble, a safety net that physically prevents the plane from going outside its safe limits. It's amazing. Okay, so let's put it all together. You've got the navigator computer handling the route, and the guardian computer ensuring safety. You have the long-term plan from the MCDU and the short-term actions from the FCU. When you see it all laid out like that, you realize this isn't about a plane that just flies itself. No, it's something way more advanced than that. And here is the key takeaway, the most important thing to remember. Modern flight isn't a human or a computer flying the plane. It's a partnership, a seamless collaboration. The auto flight system is an absolutely incredible, powerful tool. But at the end of the day, it's just that, a tool. It works hand in hand with highly trained pilots who manage it, monitor it, and command it. The human is and always will be the ultimate authority in that cockpit. So the next time you're on a flight, you'll know the real story. It's not just a simple autopilot at the helm. It's a whole symphony of sophisticated systems and skilled pilots all working together perfectly. And that just leaves us with one final thought, one question to ponder. As these systems get even smarter, as they continue to evolve, what do you think is the next destination for aviation?